Okay, we're going to roll right into our post-qualifying for tomorrow night's 34th annual Virginia 520. No, excuse me.
I hope it's not 500.
Wrong page. We're going to roll into
I want to get out here as fast as I can.
Post-qualifying for tomorrow night's 57th annual Federated Auto Parts 400 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race. And our third fastest qualifier was Jimmie Johnson. He drives the number 48 Lowe's Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. And Jimmy, Jeff was second. Certainly showed the power of the Hendrick Motorsports team. But just talk about practice, how it's been since we saw you early this morning, how your car's shaping up, and your outlook for tomorrow night.
It's been really stressful, to be honest. The time of day when we practice and how abrasive the track is, it really makes it tough to know what your car's doing and if your changes are improving your balance. So there was plenty of confusion through practice. When we switched into qualifying trim, our last two runs on scuffs were pretty fast, but amongst all the confusion on our stickers, we were slower, and you never go faster on scuffs, especially here. So it was kind of a bizarre set of circumstances for us, but we kind of stayed the course, tried to find a little bit of truth through our notes and just conversation in the transporter, and came out and had two great practice sessions or qualifying sessions. So very pleased with the effort. But again, when the sun's out today, and if you weren't going out on stickers each time, it was really difficult to know if you're advancing your car. So evidently we did throughout the course of the day, but didn't make the practice sessions easy for us.
We'll take questions now for excuse me, Jimmie Johnson. If you have one, raise your hand. Any questions for Jimmie Johnson post-qualifying? Stan and Tom Jensen.
Jimmy, just if you will, just talk about how critical it is to start up front at this racetrack.
Yeah, passing's really tough, and even the lane that you're in on a restart has a huge impact here. Although the middle groove seems to be working okay through practice, and it's where I ran in qualifying, I hope that's a good sign for the race, and that we'll have side-by-side racing and an outside lane working in. But track position, being in the right lane, and then that pit stall pick, those are really, really important here because it's just tough to complete a pass.
We're also joined by our second fastest qualifier, and that's Jeff Gordon. He drives the number 24 Drive-to-In Hunger Chevrolet. And Jeff, certainly another outstanding qualifying effort by you and your race team. And what's your outlook for tomorrow night as you like to secure that fourth win?
Yeah, I'll admit today was tough. You know, it was a kind of a frustrating day because of the conditions. You know, it's a new tire based on what we had the last time we were here, and so we were trying to learn that. And the hot conditions were making you slip and slide around. So I'll be honest, you know, I've been confused most of the day. Even qualifying, I mean, I was sliding up the racetrack and, you know, running a groove I didn't really want to be running, and yet we were fastest in the first round and second fastest in the second round, and I'm sitting here baffled by it. But that just tells me we got a really good race car that's got good speed in it, and we, you know, we just got to get that balance right, and you know, keep working hard, and we'll be able to put a good effort tomorrow night. I'm certainly proud to be on that front row, and you know, Brad put a great lap up there. I mean, that was incredible what he did that second round.
Excellent, Jeff. Thank you. And joining us also with a qualifying effort of 8th is our top Sunoco Rookie of the Year candidate. That's Kyle Larson. And Kyle certainly had to feel pretty good about your qualifying effort. You've got some work to do to get in the chase tomorrow night, but certainly very, very capable of doing it. So just talk about that right now.
Yeah, it's a decent starting spot for us. Like you said, it's a big race for us tomorrow night. Got a lot on the line, and you have to run really good. And you know, if we don't win, we got to hope for a little bit of bad luck for Biffle. So, yeah, off to a decent start. You know, Jeff was mentioning how practice was kind of confusing. I felt the same way in first practice. I thought I was really bad, and we were here for the tire test, and I thought we were really good at the test. And that whole first practice, I thought we were really bad, and then second practice, for whatever reason, I felt good again. So, you know, pretty confident now with the Target Chevy, and I think it's a top 5, 6, 7 car. So hopefully we can turn that into a win, hopefully.
We'll open it back up for questions. Anybody have another question for Jimmie Johnson? We'll go Tom, and then we'll go Hank, and then we'll let Jimmy go over here and do some radio. Go ahead, Tom, and then Hank, and we'll let Jimmy go do radio.
Hi, Jimmy. Tom Jensen, Fox Sports. When you were in here 11 hours ago or so, you said you felt like you really needed to get a hold of this track and that you had struggled. Do you feel like you have it now? Did you find something out today?
We're going in the right direction, but as everybody up here said, it just was really confusing in the practice sessions today. I felt like compared to the field, we were a decent car. Late in our qualifying runs, we seemed to work our way towards the front, and hopefully we can take what we learned in qualifying trim and apply that to the race. But it's still Richmond. I'm not breathing easy yet. If we get to the final pit stop and I'm running up front all night, I'll breathe a lot easier then. But this track still is probably one of the toughest ones on me.
Take one more for Jimmy, and that'll be Hank. Go ahead.
Jimmy and Jeff, how much of the confusion you guys are talking about was beyond the new tire, heat related, and how much will it work itself out maybe tomorrow night when it's a little darker when you guys get going?
Yeah, it's hard to pin it on which one, but it's always baffling to us how we practice all day long and then go race at night. And Jeff and I were talking about this before practice even started. It'd make more sense to have a cup practice session after the nationwide race and let us practice at night to get ready for a night race. So it's something you have to get used to in the cup garage. It's what we deal with all the time, but it is highly confusing to practice at the heat of the day and then you go race at night.
We're not saying come in as early as they did today. We're saying come in later, practice later.
Okay, Jimmy.
The only thing I'd add to that is this tire just seems to be laying a lot of rubber down, and so it looked like during the day, especially in the heat, it was laying rubber, and so the groove kept getting wider and wider, and you just don't know if it's going to do that at night.
Jimmy, we thank you for being in here, and we'll talk about practice later. But you got a radio.
I don't expect it to change.
Okay. Yeah, don't hold your breath on that one.
Thank you for your honesty.
Okay. We've got Kyle Larson and Jeff Gordon back up here, obviously, for some questions. If you'd like to ask those competitors some questions, let us know. Any questions for Jeff or Kyle? Hank Kurtz right over here to the right.
Jeff, there's a forecast for rain tomorrow, so how much could that make this even more bizarre if the tire's not putting down rubber and what's there gets all washed off?
Yeah, I mean, about any track you go to, that changes the conditions. But when you have an abrasive track like this with a tire that is putting rubber down, you get big swings. We've dealt with that here before, where it's rained prior to the race, and then you go out and you start the race, and in 25 or 30 laps, your car goes from being really good to really bad, or from really bad to really good. It just changes a lot. So if that happens throughout the race, then you're going to be dealing with those types of circumstances, and that just plays havoc on the team. The engineers trying to adjust the cars, and you as a driver, but you can't predict that. You just got to deal with it.
And you talked about the groove getting wider and wider. Isn't that better for the racing, for the show, I guess?
Absolutely. If we're racing during the day, then I'd say we'd have a multi-groove lane all the way up to the wall, but we're not racing during the day. We're racing at night, and those cooler temperatures typically don't move the track up quite as much. So I think it was fun in a lot of ways to run the way we were running today. But you feel like you're out there really not learning anything for the race. You feel like you're just making laps because the conditions will be so much different.
Other questions for Kyle or Jeff? Right here, front row, my man. I have to remember your name. What's your name again?
J.P. Beauchamp.
J.P.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This question's for both of you, Jeff and Kyle. Jeff, you've been at this for some time. Kyle, you're rookie this year. Coming into this race, what would you consider to be an acceptable expectation for this race at this stage of your career and also of the season?
Go ahead there, bud.
Take that one, Kyle.
Well, I guess anything less than a win this weekend for us in the situation we're in would be hopefully not meeting our expectations. we're expecting to win. That's kind of what we have to do this weekend since we're so many points behind Greg Biffle to get into the chase. So, yeah, I guess if we finish second and don't make it in the chase, we'll be disappointed.
I mean, he's got more on the line this weekend than I do. We're just trying to keep the momentum going or regain it. You know, the last couple of weeks haven't gone as well as we'd like them to have. So this is a big race for us, just trying to, get another win and really carry that momentum to Chicago. This is not in the chase, and we're already in it. So you're not necessarily taking a whole lot from this race and applying it into the chase, but you are going to take that team effort for sure.
Finish up right over here to the right with Stan.
Stan Creekmore, over here, guys. It's really directed to you, Kyle, but Jeff, at the same time, how intense is your rookie season? And Jeff, do you think his rookie season is far more intense than what you went through?
I don't wish a rookie season on anybody. Mine wasn't great, I can tell you that. I tore up a lot of equipment. He reminds me so much of myself, but I always say with far more talent. I love his background and what he's accomplished at such a young age, and he's got such a bright future. So, I think that you're going to see him do, I think, similar to what I did, which is next year. Because stock cars are pretty new to him. You know, he hasn't been racing stock cars his whole life, and he's on a steep learning curve. And I think that, as good as he's been this year, I think next year he's gonna go to a whole nother level just from having that comfort level of what the cars are like, what the 500-mile races are like, what the track conditions are. But my rookie year is still to this day the toughest year I had. And it's not because I wrecked a lot. It was because I just felt like everybody was judging me and watching me and critiquing me, everything I did, good or bad. You felt like you couldn't do anything right. Even when you did it right, then they expected more. If you did it wrong, then they were like, oh, well, he doesn't have what it takes, or so it's tough being a rookie. So good luck with that. I hope you're having a great year.
I'm having fun this year. It's I don't know. I've had to, I feel like as a rookie, it's my first time. Well, now that we're to the second half of the season, but before it was tough getting up to speed, kind of in practice and knowing what you needed the car to feel like in practice, so you don't fire off the race really bad. And I felt like the first third of the season I wasn't good at that, where I was always try and go faster and faster in practice, and then in the race I'd be extremely loose. So now I think I have a better feel for what I need in practice and can start the races off better, and that just kind of helps your whole race out because you're not playing catch up as much. So but I've enjoyed my rookie season. It's been a lot of fun. We've been running pretty well too most races when we don't have a bad issue or something. I feel like we've been outrunning Austin Dillon almost every race too, which is nice. So hopefully we can just keep it going and make a great rookie year if we could get in the chase.
Get one more in here, Chris. Far left. Let's get Chris a microphone there, my man.
ChrisKnightCatchfence.com, Kyle, and then Jeff to follow up. Kyle, your teammate Jamie Murray said that he was going to watch the nationwide race tonight to see what the tires do. Is that something that you're going to see also and keep in mind tonight? And Jeff, will you watch the nationwide race to see what they'll do for tomorrow?
Well, I think I'm in the nationwide race, so that helps me a lot. Knowing kind of how the tires and cars, the balance changes throughout a run. Because it is way different than the previous tire we had, and I didn't get to run on the last year's tires for what Cup ran, so I don't even know what those felt like. But it's always nice for me to run the nationwide races because I think it helps me learn how the track adjusts throughout the race, and I can kind of figure out the lines quicker. It seems like when I run the Cup races.
Yeah, I'll be laying on my couch. Actually, I'm building a model right now. I'm going to be building my model while I'm watching the race. And then my crew chiefs can be texting me the tire situation. Man, do you guys watch Formula One race? They advertise that Ayrton Senna model. Have you guys seen this? Oh, this thing's amazing. I've been 4 months into this thing, and I got 2 front tires on it. I'm not a good model builder, but I like it.
Maybe you should let your kids help you.
Yeah, I put it together. They're going to tear it apart.
Well, listen, Jeff and Kyle, congratulations on a good qualifying effort. We certainly wish you a lot of luck this weekend.